Let's see commit rollback, which is called as transaction management. So now next topic is commit and rollback. So what is commit? To understand that, let's first go on MySQL, and we have here 3 columns, and in those columns we have these values in practice 1 table. Suppose we are going to insert new value, insert into table name practice values. In values we are providing maybe Kapoor 55, again case city. It's practice 1. Its values, and our data got inserted. We got Kapoor 55 KCP. And if we are going to close this MySQL, let's restart MySQL. It is going to ask for password. So our password is show data bases and use test1 database. Inside test1 database, show table, we have practice 1. In practice 1, let's see the values. Select star from practice 1. So here is Kapoor. So there is thing called commit statement. If we are going to understand commit, let me first turn off the commit by set auto commit is equal to 0. Okay, query. So it's okay, query means it got affected. Now let's insert another data. Insert into practice 1 values Adani 3 is city. So our value got inserted. Adani, this row got inserted. If we are going to close this MySQL and restart it, then you can see we are not going to find out that data. So data bases use test1 Select star from practice one table. It's not calling. Let me show tables. Select star from practice one. So there is no Adani. Why this happened? Because in the previous one we have turned off the auto commit option. So in MySQL we have auto commit option, as well as we also have this one is in Oracle. What will happen with auto commit is every time we are going to run any query, maybe insert query or maybe a delete query, update query, that automatically got committed in our database. So if we turned off this MySQL command prompt, then that got saved before turning off this command prompt. But if that option of auto commit is on, then we don't have to use the commit statement. So it's little bit tricky in MySQL to understand, because by default it's on. Let's understand this in Oracle. Let me first use commit. Commit got completed. So the auto commit is off in Oracle, which means if we are going to insert new values in test 8, then that value is not going to saved by default. Suppose I inserted this value and let's see. So here is Jammy. If I am going to close Oracle, which means that insertion of data is lost. If we are going to try to access that Jammy CNAME, then we will not going to find that. Let's try. Okay, I provided wrong username. It's system. Select star from test state. Look, there is no value with CNAME Jammy. So auto commit is off in Oracle. If we are not using commit statement, this query, after inserting any new values, insert into test 8 values Farooq 99. So here is Farooq 99. If I am going to close the Oracle, then we are going to lose this data. This is not going to saved in our database because auto commit is off. So to save it before we close our database, we have to use commit query. So commit got completed. If now we are going to close and reopen, then we are going to find that Farooq 99 over there. This is what basically commit statement is. Inside Oracle, the commit statement is by default off, and inside MySQL, commit statement is by default on. Here is Farooq. After running the commit statement, if we closed our Oracle, then that data is not going to be get lost. That is going to get saved inside our database. So we have to run the commit statement in case of Oracle to save our data before we are closing our window of Oracle. But we don't have to use commit query in Oracle before we are closing our window, because by default auto commit is on. And the another topic is rollback. What is rollback? So by default auto commit is off in Oracle. Suppose we are providing some values over here, insert into this values, suppose apple, maybe L1, one row got affected. Let's see. So apple is here, but if we are going to use rollback query, rollback completed, then which means the last entry of ours is going to get deleted. If we are going to use select statement, we are not going to find this row apple 1. But what will happen if we use commit statement before using rollback query? So we provided again the apple 1. Let's see. We provided apple 1. Apple 1 got added here, and then we are using commit statement. Now we are again using rollback. Let's see. Now apple 1 is there. By using rollback, it didn't got deleted. By using rollback, the last statement of our, which is we inserted the apple 1, didn't got cancelled or got deleted, because we have used commit statement before rollback, or you can say after inserting new value we used commit statement, so it didn't got rollback. If after inserting the new value we directly going to use the rollback, then that previous value is going to get deleted. Or we can say that it's not depending on previous value. With the help of rollback, if we even have inserted suppose 5 values, all those values are going to get deleted. So to prevent this, after every insert query, we have to use commit statement. Let me give you more examples. Suppose we have inserted apple 2. Let's insert apple 3, apple 4. So we inserted apple 2, apple 3, apple 4. Now we are going to use rollback. Let's see, is that apple 2, apple 3 and apple 4 are there? No, we don't have apple 1, apple 2, apple 3 and apple 4. So when we roll back, we reached to the stage of our last committed point. So Apple 2, Apple 3, Apple 4 is not there. But after inserting Apple 2, Apple 4, if we provide commit statement and then we are trying to roll back, we are not going to roll back before these two inserted statement because we made a commit. We are going to find this Apple 2, Apple 4. Here is Apple 2 and here is Apple 4. So rollback is used to get to the point of last commit. When we use commit, our statement got saved. Even if delete or even if we are going to close our windows, then those entries are going to present when we are going to restart our window. But if we don't use commit statement and we close our window or we use rollback, then we are going to lose out those entries. Why this is happening here? Because the auto commit is off. In the case of MySQL, we don't have to use commit statement. By default, our statement is going to get committed. So if we are going to use rollback after providing some data, after inserting some data, suppose let's insert into practice 1 values Kumar 99. What's wrong? Okay, we have another field NYC. So here is Kumar 99. If we are not going to use commit and directly we are using rollback, then this Kumar 99 is not going to get deleted because auto commit is on in MySQL. It is by default getting committed. Look, Kumar 99 is not got deleted. So we don't have to commit our entries in order to save them before we close or use delete statement in MySQL. But in case of Oracle, we have to use commit statement to prevent from losing our data in the case if we use delete statement or maybe closed our window. So this is what commit and rollback is. So is that there is any query by which we can see is that our rollback, our commit statement, commit query, which is by default on in MySQL, is on or off. Suppose we forget that in MySQL, is it on or is it off? Suppose we forget is that by default it is on in Oracle or is it off? That's issue. So we have query. Right? Not in case of Oracle, we have select at auto commit. So it's 1. When auto commit is 1 means it's by default on. 1 means it's on. To set it off, turn it off, we have to use query set auto commit, we have to put 0. So query is okay. Now let's see, select add at auto commit. Here it got off. Now if we are going to insert any data and we are going to close our windows, then that data is going to get lost. Or we inserted any data and we used rollback statement, then even in that case that data is not going to get stored in our database, that data is going to get lost. So now if we are going to insert any data, then we have to use commit query because auto commit is off right now. Let's use this insert statement, insert into practice 1 values queen 3 use city. Let's use rollback option. When in previous case we are using rollback, then our inserted data is not got deleted because at that time auto commit was on. Now we turned off our auto commit by providing 0. So now if we are going to roll back or maybe we are going to delete close this window, then this inserted data of queen is going to get lost. Let me use rollback, or let's first use select statement to see these values. So here is queen. Let's use rollback. Roll back. Now our data is gone. Queen is gone because we turned off the auto commit option. So to turn off auto commit, you have to use this statement, set auto commit 0 is equal to 0, and so this is the case of MySQL. But in the case of Oracle, where auto commit is by default off, whenever we are inserting any data and closing the window, that data is getting deleted. So to prevent that, we have to use commit statement to save that data before we use rollback statement or we close the data. So by default, auto commit is off. Let's see, is it off or is it on? So to see the auto commit, we have this query. We have this query, show auto commit. So by default, auto commit is off. We run this query, show auto commit. So by default here is off. That's why we have to use commit statement before we are leaving this window or using rollback. So now turn this one on. What we have to do, so this show commit is for Oracle, and for MySQL to show the auto commit is on or off, we have this statement, select add auto commit, and in Oracle to display the auto commit is on or off, we have show auto commit. In this case it's showing off, but in the case of MySQL, if it is off, then it's going to show 0. If it's on, it's going to give 1. But in Oracle, if it's off, it is showing off. If it is going to be on, then it's going to show on. To turn this on, so we don't have to use commit statement every time. The query we are going to use here is set auto commit, but this time we are not going to do is equal to 1 to turn it off. What we are going to do is simply on, set auto commit on. Now auto commit is on. To display, is it off or on? Let me run this command again. So auto commit, so it's immediate. Now we are going to provide any data, insert any data, and we are going to roll back, then that data is not going to get deleted because auto commit is on. Whenever we are going to insert any data, that is going to saved automatically. But what will happen if we are going to close both of these windows? If we are going to close these windows, then this auto commit is going to get set on the default, which means if we are going to close Oracle, the auto commit is going to get set on default, which is off. If we are going to close the window of MySQL, the auto commit is by default going to be turned on, because that is how it was. We have explicitly turned it on. So we also saw commit, query commit command. We go through rollback. We also saw auto commit. We have walked through how to turn auto commit on, how to turn auto commit off. In case of MySQL, auto commit was on by default, and by default it's off in the case of Oracle. Now we know how to turn auto commit on in both cases, and in both cases we know how to turn it off. Let's move further. So this is showing the same examples that we have used or worked through. Rollback command will get us back to state of last commit. To make commit automatic in Oracle, set auto commit on. So we don't have to use commit statement after every insert. And in here, we are inserting 101A, then we are using commit, then we are inserting 102, and then we are doing rollback, and we are using select statement to display. Then this data of 102 is going to get deleted because the data after which we use commit statement is 101. So we inserted this data, we committed, means these previous values are saved, but we didn't use commit statement after this 102 value and used rollback statement. So this data is lost. So this is in the case of Oracle, because here is the SQL one. So Oracle goes with SQL. In MySQL, we also have gone through. In case of MySQL, whenever we are inserting any record, it gets auto committed automatically. To make commit explicitly not automatic in MySQL, so how to make auto commit off in MySQL? So we provided 0, it got off, which means we have to use commit statement explicitly to save every data, or if we are going to use rollback, that data is going to get lost, or if we are going to close the window after inserting data before using commit statement, then that data is also going to get lost. But here we used commit statement after 111, and using rollback, so this data is not going to get lost.